Hey, football head. Here we are, week 13 approaching. This is your commissioner, Tim Dowling, joined by, he's back,
the one and
MJ
only.
Stun.
I am here. I am so excited to be here. Have
Yeah.
not been here all season long. I even missed, I think, the last 3 weeks of last season because of the Twins. So pumped to be on.
Yeah, it's been like over a year since we've had what we like to say is our secretary of the league, our draft guru, and
What exactly does a secretary of a league do?
he hosts the draft party and the draft lottery. And what else do you think you do?
I'm the voice of reason in the league. I obviously get shit on by the fantasy gods for most points against. And I'm the fun person.
Chun likes to think in himself as the checks and balances to my power as commissioner, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I'm the voice of reason, like I said.
Of reason, yeah. Oh, Glow's in here. What up, Glow? Welcome to the show. But yeah, you haven't been on the podcast in over a year probably. And you were like the consistent co-host for last season. And now that you've had a couple twin boys, congrats on that. It's nice to have you back. And, you know, I like that you're able to get on here because it's often like I'm just punching a punching bag with there's no reciprocation. I've had you 12th in the power rankings. Yeah, give it to me. What's going on with your team this year? What excuses
like I said,
I
get shit on by the fantasy gods, but I mean the last 3 weeks I
How so?
Most points against. It's just bad luck. We all know fantasy is not that much of skill. It is how good you are. Yes, that is 15%. The other 85% is luck. And I've had bad luck this year. I got most points against in this league and second most points against my other league, but I have a great team in that other league.
Well, we're not talking about that other league. We're talking about this league.
No, it's just points against is bad luck.
You have had most points scored against you, but you also have the least amount of points scored for.
No.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now, Chun.
Bullshit.
You are the least amount of points for. Yeah, here we go. Bring it up. You're 12-10, dude. You're at the bottom.
No,
here.
What about My Little Tony?
My Little Tony's at 11-16. Okay, I missed that. So you're second most.
Yeah.
Second least.
Yeah, he's not even
not great.
He's not even averaging 100 points a game. I am.
He is my pick. He's in my 11th spot. I do think you have. Well, I thought you were doing good with the resurgence of Jonathan Taylor, but now Jonathan Taylor hurts his thumb and he's out again.
Yeah, I tried to go all in for Zach Moss.
All you had, huh?
Yeah, all I had was more than you.
Yeah, because I spent $72 on Zach Moss and then dropped him for free, and I'm still sitting pretty.
Yeah,
because I traded away DK Metcalf to some bozo for Najee Harris. Who won that league, huh?
I think that trade is even.
It's pretty fair. I mean, it's not like I totally ripped you off or anything, but
no. Same with the Jaylen Warren, because I mean,
you're missing Najee Harris, aren't you?
Camp Crystal Lake hasn't played Jaylen Warren anytime he balls out.
That's very true.
No. We don't know what's going on over there. We know that front office is a mess. But Chun, it's not just this year. This year it's not just this year for you though.
No,
we're talking about consistently bad luck over the last 10 years.
Look at most points against the last 10 years. I guarantee you I'm up by like 300 points against.
Over the Hall of Records is what you want me to go. I can't screen share, but I think Max can. I don't think he can pull it up. Maybe I can send it to him real quick.
But
this would be a fun thing to show the podcast.
Put it in the private chat.
I think throw it in the private chat. I would probably be up on everybody by 300 points.
You can say all this stuff, but the facts speak for themselves. All right.
Yeah. I'm a terrible fantasy football player.
You're lucky,
but I have never gotten the skunk.
Thank you.
Never gotten the skunk.
But you've never. Well, according to the Hall of Records, you were last place in 2015 before we implemented the skunk punishment.
Yeah. Never been the skunk.
If it counts for me, it counts for you.
I've never done a skunk punishment. Have you, Max?
Yeah, I have.
Twice.
All right, it's in the private. Max, you want to pull that up for us? It's kind of, we haven't looked at this in a while.
Danielle just said Max's skunk twice is on video.
Yeah.
Video that you guys will never see.
Okay, let's go ahead and can we zoom in on the points for column or the points against, right? This is your argument, Chun, the points against column on the right
points
there.
Against,
column W, please. And
W is after V.
No, he's got it. Okay, so this is tough to I can do it on my screen too. Yeah, go ahead and highlight this on a row 7. Here we go. 14,501. It is the most. Yes. Out of anyone in the league, you have been scored against the most.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder what to make of that. That's interesting.
God.
All right, Chun. Chun believes in God. That's interesting. That's good. Well, I do want to just show off my handiwork. And I know Glow's watching. I'd be interested to know what Mr. Spreadsheet himself thinks of this spreadsheet that I created. But this is has tracked all the league's history since its creation in 2012. So 10 years now. And you can see even that we added, we used to be a 10-person league, and then it's been 12 people since 2017 now. But I've got total wins, total games, winning percentage. Belts would be our championship, second place finishes. So yellow is the belt for gold. Blue is kind of the silver. Orange means that it's a playoff year. And then the black would be skunk there. So Max, between your skunks, I'd rather not. Rather not talk about 2014. We lost the data for that year. Commish was a little preemptive on instituting some much needed scoring changes to the IDP that year, and I changed the scoring after all the games had been played, and it just fucked with the data. It like retroactively screwed some stuff up. So that's a bit of a smear on my reign. But everything else, it's kind of fun to look at in one snapshot here.
Yeah. Now, can you go back? So I want to see my total points.
Okay. We know that you got the most points against.
Yeah.
He's row 7.
13,644. And how many games is that? 100 and something?
You averaged the least amount. I did the work for you in column U.
Yeah.
In column U there. 104, almost 105 points.
0.95 game.
All right.
Points a game.
But Max is just right above you there at 105.78.
And the people with Chun,
you've only made the playoffs twice.
Yeah, I suck. But I don't get the skunk. Bro. I'm not last place.
Well, you made last place 1 year, 2015.
1 year. Before the skunk.
1 year. So, all right. We'll see how you do this year. Let's move into power rankings. My little inspirational quote for power rankings. Thank you, Zordon. My inspirational quote for this week is: one can choose to go back toward safety or forward toward growth. Growth must be chosen again and again, and fear must be overcome again and again. And I chose this quote, and I think it's fitting that I'm reading this right after we look at the Hall of the Records, because you don't ever get to take a year off. You don't ever take a week off in this league. If you think you're set, you're gonna end up in the skunk bowl. You're gonna miss the playoffs. You can't get content with your life.
What about the years off for the half owners like Max and Red?
Like this year for them?
Yeah.
They're still attached. They're still attached.
I've definitely taken this year.
It hasn't. That's it's totally a lie. Max is
you can take
Sunday
any year off you want.
Chat.
You just gotta go find another manager.
Okay.
As much I don't think it's been all that relaxing for you because I've heard you backstage. I've heard the behind the doors with Derek. I know that it's probably made it worse for you. So my point is that you need to be consistent in this league. And for all your flaws, Chun, you are consistent.
Consistent. I think I am consistently okay at scoring. I think I am bad at points against. It's
the hell's so boring, Glow. You don't have to watch. Huh? You can comment on the podcast saying it's boring. The quote is boring.
Hey! Don't worry about the comments. Don't worry about the comments. Just keep going with the show.
All right, we know why I'm in.
I don't stand for that. You gonna throw tomatoes at me?
We know I'm in last place. We know you ranked me last because I'm in last place.
Yeah, you're 2-10.
Let's hear about Little Tony, or as I said, the better name is the Tony Express.
The Tony Express would be a better name if Tony Pollard actually lived up to his draft status for sure. But he is actually my dark horse for the Skunk because, as you well pointed out, and I was wrong, he does have the least amount of points scored for his team. But he did escape on Monday night, and he has 5 wins.
He's escaped a lot of nights. He has 5 wins.
He could technically still make the playoffs. I mean,
how do you
the only people who've been eliminated
and make 5 wins?
This is where we're gambling, I don't know, but yourself and Crystal Lake Crushers are the only ones who have actually mathematically been eliminated. My Little Tony is still alive at 5-7. Crystal Lake Crushers, a fun little tidbit about them is the differential between their points for and their points against is the smallest in the league. So you want to talk about luck and bad luck. There's another case for that. So yeah. My counter to the whole luck point is you make your own luck by having a good draft.
I do want to point out, and I do love the ESPN fantasy format. I'm in another league where it's CBS, and they point out if you played your opponent schedule every week, what your record would have been. And I really like that component for if ESPN did that. Because if I had My Little Tony or Crystal Lake Crushers schedule, what would my points or what would my win total be?
That is a little tool that
means
people who have losing records really enjoy.
Yeah.
We'll move on. And I can't get over Blaine's comment here. First, he says this show is boring. But then earlier in the week, the power rankings are too spicy for him. And he wants to call me out on that. I can't win with this guy. Huh?
Well, he's talking about K9 unit. The team is boring.
Is he? I don't know. That comment came fucking 4 minutes ago before we even got here. But we will get to that. The team is boring. Sorry, Matt. Your team's boring. Derrick Henry, he's been inconsistent this year. The Titans, I haven't seen them in the media. They're kind of a boring team, right? They're hovering around 500. But Matt doesn't seem to be concerned with the Skunk.
Can I ask you, what is boring about being the 9th best running back in the league?
Good question. I don't know.
Derrick
I'm not
Henry
watching
is 9th most points.
Well, it'd be more exciting if his team was winning games, I guess.
Okay. Well, 9th most points. I mean, I wouldn't call Derrick Henry boring. I would take Derrick Henry over some of my running backs. I'm sure you would take Derrick Henry over Najee Harris.
I'd take Derrick Henry over Saquon Barkley right now.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah,
so
you're right.
Saquon's boring.
That's the only name I can remember on Matt's team. All right. So that's enough about Matt. I've dropped the Scrap DeLoreans down from the 6th spot to the 8th spot. They're at a 500 record along with 8 other teams. Josh Allen and his whole squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to get Derrick Henry on the pod if he's listening. I'll take one for the team. If I got to go viral calling Derrick Henry boring just to get him on our show, then I will do that. And he can run me over. But Alex's team, he's been sliding. He's on a 3-game losing streak. Adam Thielen is not the fantasy stud he predicted he would be. Travis Etienne's not consistent enough. It's really just Josh Allen. And now on a really critical week 13, where 8 teams are vying for, or 6 more teams are still alive at like within a game of each other for the 6th playoff spot. He's got a bunch of bye weeks. And maybe that's part of the reason he didn't want to join the podcast tonight. He's a little bit scared to face the music that maybe he's on the outside looking in.
Now, I'll say this, Scrap DeLorean's, like you said, Josh Allen is his whole team. The Bills, Josh Allen is that whole team, and they are 6-6 like Scrap DeLorean, and they got to play well to make the playoffs now. I think there's going to be a big playoff push coming for Josh Allen. We said he's his old team. He's really going to ball out the last coming weeks.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to. And that kind of makes me think about, again, going back to draft strategy. The draft is like 90% of fantasy football, okay? And when you take a strategy where you're drafting these elite quarterbacks earlier in the round, it's a risk because it's a ride or die with that quarterback. We've seen it kind of with like Lou's team with Lamar, or Alex's team with Josh Allen. You're giving up all this other draft capital that you can, maybe freaking DeAndre Swift or whoever you could draft instead isn't going to score more overall points than that elite quarterback, but you're going to be more well-rounded. You're going to have more depth, and you have a better chance. You can still get a quarterback who's going to have a smaller point differential than a Josh Allen or a Lamar or whoever, Mahomes. Yeah. Anyhow, that's where these hidden points are. And I think that's really where it separates a lot of teams. But hey, don't listen to me. I've only won it, a couple times. Okay. Damn it, Bobby dropped him, or actually moved him up from 8th to 7th. But again, he's another one on the slide. He's 6-6 as well. And I kind of call him out for his ride or die strategy because he's not one who's made a lot of moves on the waivers. He lost a heartbreaker on Monday night as well. He had the lead. He also had Rasheen Rice left on his bench. Would have given him the win. But that's a bummer. He is at risk of ending up in the skunk bracket. Then we'll go to... Yeah.
I was gonna say, Bobby always gets fucked in the playoffs.
When he does make it,
he always has had a good team, a good scoring team, but he always gets fucked. He's a big points against guy too.
Sure, we're gonna make this points against. That's your whole mantra. Is this points against shit? You got to make your own luck, is what I'm gonna say. Who is Tank Bigsby? All right, Mr. Glow, you got anything to say about your team? He's on. Oh wow,
that's not even Tank Bigsby. That's Tank Dell.
Exactly. And what do I say? It's incredible what switching tanks will do to a team. He went from Tank Bigsby to Tank Dell. He's leading the resurgence of Glow's team. Also, I think the coaching change in Las Vegas has helped Josh Jacob owners as well have more consistency at the running back spot. And he looks like he's got some legit options on his bench. But he has been kind of playing roulette with his quarterback. Sam Howell for Washington, is capable, but he may have let some other studs go. Can we get, yes, it's Tank Dell.
Is Sam Howell still the leading pass yards person in the league?
That's a good question. I do not know, but he is up there as a leader.
I think through the first 11 weeks, he had the most passing yards and the most sacks. So how does that work? Like, is he just throwing the ball up and getting lucky?
Washington's throwing the ball a shit ton. I don't know.
Oh, Terry McLaurin's not catching it.
Yeah, who is catching them? He's distributing the football quite well. I think Curtis Samuel led the Commanders in targets and yards last week, who is now on my team.
Speaking of lucky players, ball hogs.
Ball hogs, yes, I would definitely say that Colin is Very lucky here. Wins are all that matter in this league. He's 8-4, even though he's like in the second half of points scored. He hasn't quite clinched a playoff spot yet, but at 8-4, it's inevitable. It's just crazy. He's got Zeke Elliott, backup running back in New England. Fat boy Zeke, there he is. That's completely photoshopped. Zeke, do not sue us.
That's not Photoshop. That's
Is that real?
That's
somebody
real.
else.
That's real, but that's a D lineman. They switched practice jerseys.
Yeah, Zeke, and then another backup running back. So he's got two basically handcuffs at the RB spots, and he's 8-4. This really does just fly in the face of what I always harp about and what we tend to believe in about the strength of running backs and the value of running backs in fantasy football. He's got 8 wins with 2 backups. It's like he's might as well not even be playing with them. He's got elite wide receivers, so it makes a big difference. Air Jalen, after starting the season 1-5, loses last week to loses it last week to Colin says, "Sick it, Tim. Learn how to spell. You're a doctor." I think he meant to say "suck it, Tim." Yeah, that's such a nice picture that you got there. You look so smart. Learn how to spell, buddy. But yeah, hey, you haven't made the playoffs yet. Anything could happen, so look out. Back to Camille's team. He loses to Lou, and but still puts up 135 in a losing performance. He's 6-6 on the bubble. He has really been fighting all year to make the playoffs. Nothing but respect for the effort that Camille has put in. And then bumping up Lou from the 5th spot to the 9th. I think I had Lou like in the 9th slot like 2 weeks ago, and now I got him at 3. I don't know what to make of this squad, but he is 7-5, so he's in the 4th seed right now, in prime position to make the playoffs, as well as I guess close 7-5 as well.
After this, can we look? I think Lou's made the playoffs like 7 of the last 9 years.
Yeah, we can go back to the Hall of Records as well. I'll just wrap up. Oh, we'll do it right now.
Right there. Yeah.
And I have it tallied. It looks like
right there.
Yeah, he's made it 7 years. Lou has. He's only made the championship once. And he lost to Matt back in 2018. He did he did not make the playoffs last year. So Lou, very consistent. Would you say he's lucky?
I'd say he's good. If you've made the playoffs 7 of the last 9,
that's the difference.
I've made it once in the last 9.
Twice.
Okay.
You've made it twice. Can we get this Colin comment out of my face? Huh? Get the Colin comment out of my face. Get it out. I don't want to see it anymore.
In the 2 spot, you have yourself, of course. I'm surprised you didn't
get him out.
Why?
Get him out. I'm not doing it. Oh, thank you. God damn.
Tim, why didn't you put yourself at 1? Do you not think is your team not better?
Here's the difference between Andy's team and my team. Andy has had some huge hits. Kieran Williams and Raheem Mostert have had ridiculous outputs, and the running back spot, that's where you have the most differential between the elite and the average and the shit. He's had like 2 40-point or 30-point games from each of those running backs, so he's got more points scored for. So I would say that Andy's team has a higher ceiling than me, has more points scored than me. So even though I have the same record, and he beat me head to head, so that's another reason I didn't want to put myself first. And also,
so he's better.
Hey, what is this?
The fuck is that?
So this is I think this is Max's way of telling me he wants to be fired and doesn't want to do this anymore. But this is a picture.
There's your commissioner, everybody.
This is a picture.
Danielle,
I'm a
come
baby
look.
Back then. I'm 20. What are we? 23, 24 in this picture here. Max, Blaine, and I had done our own little impromptu pub crawl. scavenger hunt, if you will, down in Tacoma. And one of the things that we had assigned ourselves to do, I'm explaining it. One of the things we had done a scavenger hunt in Tacoma on a pub crawl, and one of the things we had to do was to exchange shirts with a stranger. So she's wearing my shirt and I'm wearing her shirt. We switched back after the photo, but I believe this is that.
Summer?
It was not this past summer.
It wasn't this last summer. This was like 10 years ago.
Top?
Yeah, it was definitely the summer. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was a good time. It's great. We
Man,
walked from.
Produce more comments here. Come on, comment section.
We walked from the Harmon all the way to the Parkway, and we went like through downtown, and then this is at Doyle's, and we had to have a beer at each restaurant too, or at each bar.
Did you go that whole way with that shirt on?
No. It's only for the photo here, so Max could fucking put it on the internet.
Look at those traps, brother.
I still got them.
What did you say? Oh shit.
Yeah, anyway, say hello to the world, D.
Hi, you should have kept the tank top. Okay, here's
I know, it's kind of looked good on me, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spaghetti strap.
I guess that's kind of fitting because I did say I have the sexiest team in the league, so that picture kind of backs me up. But I think I do have a high floor, and I've got a good shot at winning it. And then Andy, you're lucky that glow came to your White Knight protector to protect you from my other words that I had on here, calling you out for your debauchery on Saturday.
Which Andy are we talking about? Is it all Red, or is it all Van Camp?
No, Red is nothing but the money. He's not even the money. He's just the historical in. He's sold out because Andrew paid for the league fee and everything. Andrew, I said you get rapey when you're drunk, all right? That's what I said. I said you get rapey when you're drunk. You were hugging me all night. You wouldn't let go of me. You wouldn't let go of anyone. You're trying to kiss us. That's what I said, all right? And then I deleted it. Again, here I am being raped. All right. Andrew gets away with it on Monday night.
Is Red out of the league?
His name is attached to the team.
I'm trying to get rid of names. There's 12 teams and we have 14 people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask.
Well, I don't know what to do about this, right? I guess. What do you want? What would you like your commissioner to do? What would you like?
Either one. I want one name per team, and either expand or not. I don't want to expand, but you're the commissioner. One name per team.
Sean, I don't see a problem.
Next year.
Do it. You need to rally the troops against me because I'm not going to change anything. We want to expand. Nick can't be consistent enough to uphold the competitiveness that this league requires. And so he got Andy in, and Andy's done an excellent job. He's done a great job. So I don't see what's wrong in it.
Andy. What Andy?
Yeah. I mean, we only call Van Camp Andy. We don't really call Red Andy anymore. Yeah, Max likes any kind of attention. So any words about that, producer? Did you like it? Did you like Andrew's behavior?
He was fine with me. He was very respectful.
I just noticed you edited.
I think it was he's just kind of obsessed with you.
You deleted your LMN. You edited your LMN.
I did because Glow's little virgin ears didn't like my R-rated humor and jab. And he was afraid that little orphan Andy would be offended by it. And so I felt bad. I apologized to Andrew, and I just took that line out. It's not relevant to the league, even though I have a very punchy style when I'm writing these power rankings.
All right. Hey. When did this
permission to be an asshole?
Of fantasy football. Let's move on here, huh?
I think that's what people want.
I want no holds bars, glove off, keep swinging.
Yeah, well, we're aligned. We agree on something, Chun. I'm never gonna censor myself again. How about that?
Hey, an eagle never censors himself.
Oh damn. Caw! Let's do Hawk Talk.
Speaking of the car. So Gino sucks. He's got to leave town next year.
Yeah, we've been saying that for about a month now, but at least we've
been saying that for about 2 years.
No, we didn't say it last year. He's a Pro Bowler last year and defied all expectations.
Anybody can be a Pro Bowler.
Wow. Well, this is what I've been.
Who's the backup for the Ravens this year and last year? He was a Pro Bowler. Him and Lamar were both in the Pro Bowl.
Is it Tyler Huntley?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this has been my take on Gino this year. I've said it on the pod before, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. To me, Gino looks a little flat. Emotionally, he doesn't look like he's there. Doesn't look like he's as invested or inspired as he was last year.
He's not there to prove anybody wrong this year. Everybody saw what he can do or what he could do, and now he doesn't have to prove anybody wrong. He made a $50 million paycheck, and now he can coast. I've never been a big fan of Gino.
Very common.
I think he's one of the best backups in the league. And who else would you want better in that backup? I mean, a backup, all you want is 3 to 4 wins. Gino delivered last year with what, 12, 11?
Maybe 10 or 11. I don't remember our record, but and then there was all this curiosity around Drew Lock. We know we got to see him. He's obviously not much better. He's actually probably worse because he's not getting the reps. But as far as this last game that we just saw, this was they played on Thanksgiving. That was the last game, and they, as predicted, got their butt kicked by the 49ers. The 49ers have just been a more physical team all around than the Seahawks for the last 2 or 3 years. So it wasn't much of a surprise, but somehow the Seahawks are still in a wild card spot at 6-6, and now they have to face the Dallas Cowboys on another Thursday night.
Is it in Dallas?
Let me look real quick.
It is in Dallas, yes.
It is in Dallas. Yes, Seahawks will lose.
Yeah, and then they'll be 6-7. So,
and then they play the Eagles next week.
And we still have do we have a first round pick for next year? We still have something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're going to need a quarterback.
Seahawks will be fine. They'll have to draft a quarterback. Next year's draft class in the draft, there's about 5 or 6 guys that could go round 1. And I know a lot of people are talking about Michael Penix. I don't want a lefty quarterback. It just throws the whole team for a loop.
Yeah? The receivers don't like it?
No, I don't. I recognize Penix is good, but...
What about Donovan McNabb? Wasn't he a lefty?
No.
No, he wasn't. Oh, Michael Vick, your boy. He was a lefty.
Yeah, he was a lefty, but he also had his legs. Fine. He was more dynamic with his legs than his arm ever.
Gotcha.
And he changed the game with his legs. A lefty quarterback changes everything. Look at Tua in the Dolphins. They're great, but if Tua was a righty, the whole offense would be a humming.
John, this makes no sense.
What doesn't make sense?
You're telling me that Miami's offense
Tyreek his whole life has ran routes on the opposite side, and now he's got to run it on this side because Tua's left-handed.
And is Tyreek Hill struggling with that?
No, but think if he was on the right side.
But think if he was adjusting, huh? I don't hear it. I don't buy it. I don't mind a left-handed quarterback. No wonder you can't draft in fantasy football if you're looking at left and right-handed quarterbacks like that. There's no difference. Makes no sense.
Name a Hall of Famer lefty quarterback. There's only one.
Okay. I don't know. Doug Flutie?
Steve Young.
Hall of Famer? Steve Young. That's the right one. Yeah. So it's possible. All right. Well, you heard it here. If you're left-handed, don't play quarterback
as well. Ken
Stabler. Wow. Thank you, producer Max. So the Seahawks, we're predicting they'll miss the playoffs this year. Yeah.
No.
You think they'll still make it?
I think they'll still make it as a 7 seed.
Wow.
They still have a They still have a good roster. Who's better in the NFC? I mean, there's 6 other teams better.
The Packers are kind of frisky.
The Lions?
No. Lions will be a 6 seed or take the division.
You got Dallas, Philly, 49ers.
All right, so let's go by division first. Eagles, Lions, probably the Falcons, even though they don't deserve it. Niners. And then you got Cowboys and Seahawks as the 6th seed.
What about the Saints?
Saints are garbage. Derek Carr is a piece of shit.
Okay. Good take.
They're not gonna win.
He actually writes left-handed. Derek Carr.
Oh well, there you go.
You got the Packers in the mix. You got the Buccaneers in the mix. You got
the Bucks.
The Rams.
Yeah, I mean we can't beat the Rams. They're better than us.
And they got a better quarterback.
Well, we'll see. I just haven't been that impressed. We'll see what happens. At least they're competitive. Pete's never going to have like a huge losing record. No. We're going to get our ass kicked a couple times, and we've lost 2, and we got another tough one. It's a tough stretch in the schedule. But hey, it's funny how the tables turn because here you are being optimistic about the Seahawks and me being pessimistic. A difference a year makes.
After last year, I have nothing but believe in Pete.
Wow. Amen to that. Okay. Well, we'll end the segment with that. I believe in Pete too. Moving on to recent activity in the waiver wire.
I tried to go all in with Zach Moss.
Yeah, we had mentioned this earlier with Jonathan Taylor owners now pulling their hair out again because he's out for the season, is he not? Jonathan Taylor breaks his thumb, needs surgery, and then
he'll be
back.
But
will he be relevant for fantasy?
Playoff push. Somebody
I thought it was like 4 to 6 weeks.
I got him. If he's out all the way till the Skunk Bowl, he is starting the Skunk Bowl.
Gotcha. Well, Zach Moss was the big fantasy ad, and he was on my roster most of the year. And then I dropped him, and then I spent $72 for him, and then I dropped him after I got Najee. But Matt picks him up for $41 on the waivers, which ended up being a really good bid because Colin had bid $37 for Zach Moss, which was unsuccessful. You put in the rest of your budget, 21, and even My Little Pony made an $11 bid on Zach Moss. And here's the thing about Zach Moss. He's playing again behind a really good offensive line that wants to run the football. Gardner Minshew is a game manager, so they really rely on this. And he's actually been explosive. You see some of these games, even just last game, he's got an average of 6.9 yards per carry. He had a 7.2, another 6 yards per carry. So Zach Moss is definitely a contributor. I can see him. He's a very good flex, but I could even see him being an RB2. I wonder how much Colin actually had to spend.
Are the Colts better off with Zach Moss than they were with your guy who they traded last year for Zach Moss?
No, that's all I had. Which guy was that?
I don't even remember the guy's name. Number 21.
Oh, Marlon Mack?
Nope, the other guy. You don't even remember his name. He went to the Bills.
Deion Jackson?
Nope. He went to the Bills last year.
Damian Harris.
Oh, nope. I do now remember. Who the hell was I so hyped about?
You said he's going to win leagues.
I did.
Nyheim Hines.
Nyheim Hines.
Nyheim Hines. Yeah.
Better off with Zach Moss than Nyheim Hines.
I mean, obviously they're better off with Zach Moss. He's produced more than Nyheim Hines has his entire career just in these last 2 months. So, the Hines thing, I really had a lot of faith in Hines. He's gone. I thought he was a good athletic pass catching back, but never turned out for him. So Zach Moss is really the only big news as far as dollars go. And I don't think he's a league winner, but he's certainly, I know several teams that could benefit from having Zach Moss on their team in their lineup here. What else is added here? Samaji Perine by My Little Tony adds him for $1. He's kind of been the pass catching back out of Denver.
DaRon Bland, defensive player of the year.
Not a huge fan. What's that?
DaRon Bland.
DaRon Bland for the Crystal Lake Crushers.
Yep.
7 picks of the year so far.
He has 3 touchdowns than
5 pick sixes.
Yep.
Incredible. Who was responsible for that move on the Crystal Lake Crushers, might I ask?
Derek. Derek was. It's a great pickup.
Great pickup, Derek.
Great job, Derek. Yeah, great job picking him up. Air Jalen also picks up Derwin James. I pick up Jesse Bates III out of Atlanta. That's kind of the IDP moves. I got Curtis Samuel for free. Logan Thomas is now available. Who is Tank Bigsby drops him. The Andy Stack picks up a Landon Roberts. There's another IDP. We could just go through all these IDPs. They don't really matter that much. Ball Hogs adds Trey Sermon because and then he drops him. Just kidding. He drops Trey Sermon. He adds Russell Wilson to his squad. Scrap DeLorean adds Derek Carr and Jordan Brooks. I don't think any of these are notable.
If you pick them up, you got to play them.
That's, I think, a fallacy that this podcast has repeated too long. I don't think he needs to.
I tried to live by that.
Russell Wilson?
I was upset last week because I played fucking Brock Purdy over pretty boy quarterback
Trevor Lawrence, your boy.
Yeah. Played Brock Purdy over him. But even if I played
Trevor
Lawrence, I still wouldn't have won.
Well, that's some consolation.
Yeah, it was. It actually made me a lot better. Why the fantasy gods hate me. I still would have beat the same amount of teams in the league, though.
But you didn't. Let's go to the Week 13 scoreboard. I haven't picked a game of the week here. I think, with 2 weeks left in the regular season, all of these games matter. I'm already locked in. So me and Camille, I don't think is as meaningful, even though Camille really obviously needs a win here at 6-6.
That's what I was going to say. Game of the week is it's either you or Camille, because Camille needs to keep winning because he got a late start, or it's another team we can talk about later.
I think it might be Ball Hogs and the Scrap DeLorean because
that was my choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Colin's not quite clinched yet. And Scrap DeLorean is 6-6 and on a losing streak. Yeah. And they're kind of at opposite ends of their streaks here. Colin being on a 3-game winning streak, Scrap DeLorean losing 3 in a row. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this game, and we'll make it game of the week. Do we not have that audio? Do we not?
Keep going, have that audio? Music on YouTube.
It's copyrighted.
Projected with 51 points.
Well, this was a shit one to pick, actually, because he doesn't have his lineup set.
You know he's never going to set his lineup before. He wants to give us a hard hand to play.
Well, I guess he gave us some clue here. He's going to roll with Derek Carr.
Yep.
He's going to roll with Young-Ho Koo as his kicker. He's got Jordan Brooks as IDP.
Brian Robinson as the other running back.
And then who will he throw in the flex? He's got Spears or Higbee.
He's not throwing Spears in. He's throwing Higbee in. Spears
is a double tight end, huh?
Double tight end is my guess.
Higbee
I don't
got
even
in the end zone last week.
Yeah, but
2 times. He had a huge game last week. It's got to be Higbee, huh?
Yeah. Spears touches the ball 6 to 8 total times a game. Higbee will get thrown the ball 8 times, catch it 6. Higbee's his guy.
5 targets.
He's running the double tight end set. and I will pick Colin to win.
Well, wow, we jumped right into that. Let's look at Colin's team. Mahomes has been, again, I'm talking about these elite quarterbacks. He's done it. You can obviously win games this week. I don't know if you can win games this way. I don't know if you can win championships, but it's Mahomes and three elite wide receivers. There they are, Zeke and Royce in his RB spots. Keenan Allen with the questionable tag, but he's been the number 2 wide receiver all year. That's insane. Yeah. He has the 3rd most receptions through 11 games in NFL history. Wow. He's got, I mean, look at the last 3 weeks for Keenan Allen. That's crazy. 14 catches, 10 catches, 11 catches. He had 18 catches way back in week 3. I mean, Keenan Allen was definitely a good target in the draft. He's always been a health concern, but look what he can do when he's healthy and he doesn't have hamstring issues. But I did say he was questionable. He didn't practice. It's a quad. He's been playing through that. He'll probably play, but damn.
Same thing we talked about with Josh Allen in the Bills playoff push. The Chargers have a bigger road to climb. I think they're 4-6, maybe 4-7. The Chargers need to really play well, and Keenan Allen's going to be that horse they ride.
The crazy thing, I mean, Keenan Allen is look at the targets. He's only had under 9 targets once all year.
109 in a game?
Under 9.
Well, he had on week 4 there. Yeah. I mean, he's the guy. Austin Eckler has not been healthy this year. So they've really relied on Keenan and they're just feeding him. And he's like kind of older, aged out. I don't think he was when did he get drafted? When did Colin draft this guy? No. 4th round. Yeah, that's might be draft pick of the year too. I mean, shit. So he's got Keenan Allen, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are all top 10 wide receivers. And then he's still got Devontae Adams, who's a top 15.
Manager of the year, Colin.
I wouldn't say that. I think that he had a good draft with these wide receivers being able to snag all of them.
Puka.
Yeah, and the Puka pickup was helpful as well. Colin definitely has. It's hard to predict because Alex doesn't have the lineup set, but it is a very scrappy one for Alex. I think I wanted to say that Alex was due. You're picking Colin. I'm also going to pick Colin. He's going to get his 9th win. He's going to make the playoffs and defeat conventional wisdom. And I think the Scrappers are on the outside looking in. They may not be eliminated, but I don't see them making the playoffs this year. I've been saying that all year about both these teams, really. But Colin's got wins. Alex doesn't. Max, do you have anything to weigh in on?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Colin says, first wise words of the night, gents. Of course he likes that.
I can't really dissect this lineup because for some reason our co-host and he knows that the show is right now. I'm sure he's watching and he can't set his lineup for us. Come on, bud.
Well, if you look at the bench, we pieced it all in there. But I don't think it's enough with Derek Carr and Higbee and Hill. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? That's our game of the week. Can you go back to standings? Can we just take a look over all standings here? So Andy Stack and Commissioners, we're in. Colin is very, very close to being in. If he doesn't win this week, he can still get in next week. Lamar and who is Tank Bigsby, 7-5. I mean, we got 1, 2. I would put them on the bubble. And then 3 more. Yeah, there's 5 teams that are realistically still fighting for 3 more spots here.
If the right team loses for Colin, he could clinch, even if he doesn't win.
That's also true. Yeah, good point.
He'll clinch.
Who's
weekend.
going to be on the outside looking in? I think the Scrap DeLorean's out, and then the other team is probably Bobby.
That's what I was saying.
And
Unlucky Bobby.
And that agrees with the playoff percentage here. So it's a good looking table. I love looking at the full 12 teams here with the majority of them still competitive. So good job, everybody and the homies. We're down to the wire. Don't give up.
Never give up.
Never give up. Wise words from Chun. That's all I got for us tonight.
Everybody, good luck. Glad to be back. Hopefully be back sooner than later. Have a good night.
Chun, great to have you back. You can come back every week, man. Thanks, man.
Which way?